So welcome to Spring Equinox. It actually happened yesterday. March 20th this year was when all the magic took place. But we're going to celebrate it today on this beautiful Sunday evening. And in Colorado, it's snowing like mad, which is so typical of Colorado. And what's really cool about this whole idea of spring equinox is it's really looking at, it's a time to consider, how do we go about creating balance in our life? As we know in the yoga world, yoga is union. And it is this beautiful sort of relationship or even marriage of opposites that help us find balance. And so yesterday I was building a garden. It was 72 degrees. I had a tank top on. I got a sunburn, and today it's snowing like crazy. And so how do we find the space and opposites in our day-to-day life? Not just in crazy weather, but the opposites of our life. And in ancient times, the beginning of the year was reckoned from this moment, the spring equinox, when the sun crossed the equator and began rising higher each day into the heavens. That was the myth around this beautiful day. And the spring equinox is a solar festival celebrated when the length of the day and the night are equal. The word equinox comes from Latin, and it means equal night. In a yoga practice, we explore the equinox theme of balance often. We work the right side, we work the left side, we flex and extend the spine, we twist opposite sides. So it's very common, if you're a practitioner of yoga, to sort of work the principles of equinox, equanimity, equality on both sides. But how do we take those principles of balance into our day-to-day? How do we celebrate this particular day and this ignition, like this day or yesterday or equinox day? And it actually goes for a couple days. It's from March 20th, usually to the 22nd or 23rd of every year. And it's an ignition for, what do we want to grow today? What do we want to grow this year? What's stoking within us that we feel something burning inside of us? And it's a short-lived period of very fertile energy. And the lepidolite that I sent you, it's that beautiful lavender pinkish stone. It's very rough. Even when it's tumbled, it keeps the shape of being very rough. And lepidolite is a beautiful stone of rebirth. It's used in any transition in life. It's helpful when we're going through any sort of change. It's great when we have stress. It's super calming. It's used to help us ease any sort of transition from what was into what is. And whatever that is, and that's applicable to your life, you'll know, like, that might mean something to you. Lepidolite helps us when we have intense emotions. We have deep depression, deep fear, deep anxiety. And it's as if this stone really helps us to move out of that. It brings hope, it brings relief and gentleness. Remember, anything that is matter has a vibration. And so the vibration of this beautiful lavender pinkish stone that has a little bit of glitter in it to remind us of our own glitter. This one is particularly good for helping us to find that balance that the equinox is asking us to look at. This is another stone that's great when we're overly critical with ourselves, with change, with awareness. I like to carry this one in my wallet. And I also have a stone, a little collection of stones that I carry with me if I'm wearing jeans, which isn't very often because I typically wear yoga pants. But if I have jeans on, I throw a few in my pocket, and lepidolite is one of them because it really helps me to just kind of be able to go with whatever the day's going to bring me. This one helps us to see the potential of each day as if it's brand new, fertile. This one is great physically, like if you're struggling with fertility issues, you wanting to create something. And that's what spring is all about, is creating and being kind of in the mindset that we're putting out these intentions for something amazing. And whenever seeds are planted, we trust and we know that we will grow and expand just like nature. And I think that nature is such a beautiful reminder of the rhythm and the rhythmic cycles that are around us all the time. So typically at this time, we have a very outward focus. Spring is where we're looking to what we want to grow. But we need to remember that our face is turned towards the sun, and that this is a time of really pushing rather than yielding. And yet while we're seeking this desire to grow something, we have to balance it with kind of letting things be as they will. And that's a hard part for us, to find that contentment within the day-to-day while also nurturing a seed. The spring equinox is a really good time to consider how we go about creating a balanced life. Is our work and our play equal? Are we spending too much time thinking about the future and not enough time observing the present? There's so many things happening in nature. And right now is a ripe time in our world, wherever you live, in the country or the world, to observe the changes that are happening. If you're on the other side of the continent, you're heading into fall. Most of us are heading into spring, where things are starting to wake up again. But wherever we are, there's a beautiful, subtle change that's happening. And that can apply to our day-to-day life as what do we want to change? Which is why I gave each of you a packet of seeds. And the seeds is such a symbolism for putting something in the ground. And so I want to just finish up going through what you receive in your package. So you have the Lepidolite, which is a beautiful stone to help rebirth you in this time of fertility and change and newness and growth, but it's also a great balancing stone. I also gave you a packet of seeds that says cultivate a brighter future. This is it. We get to choose what we want to grow. We get to decide as we plant those seeds into whatever container you plant them in, whether it's a bed in your yard, a pot that you might have to nurture indoors because wherever you live, it may not serve you well, or maybe you wait and hold off until you get to the best place for you to plant these. But it's about creation, and it's about the sprouting of seeds and the blossoming of your dreams. And so the packet of seeds is really a symbolism of what you want the universe to hear and witness within you to grow. And as we invite in this idea of springtime and growth, I want to make sure that you use these seeds as a symbolism of your own personal growth. You also received a tiny little scroll. It's about the size of a Post-it note. So if you haven't received your package yet, that's okay. Grab a sticky note and a pen. We're going to write down an intention, and we're going to, when you are ready, when you feel that your fertile soil is ready, I will encourage you to take that scroll or that sticky note and literally put it into the earth. Let it become with the seeds of your intention, and to be nourished by you. So I'm going to walk you through a process of meditation. And as we come into the coming weeks and months, we're going to nourish those seeds and that intention, that scroll, that piece of paper that will become one with the earth. And remember that every time we dream, our seeds hear us. We're nourishing the plant. We're anticipating. I'm not a huge future living person, but I love this time of year to actually sit with the idea of optimism and what is it that I want to grow. So you received with your registration a blend of oils that I crafted to foster this sense of optimism. And in order to grow anything, we have to be hopeful. We have to have an idea within us that says, I believe that this is going to be. I believe that I am worthy, that I am creating, that I'm co-creating with the energy of universe and spirit. And so the first oil that I put into this, and I do layer them with intention. The first oil that I put in was tangerine. And this tangerine oil is similar to wild orange, obviously a different fruit, comes from the rind, but this one really brings out creativity. It's sort of like wild orange on steroids. It's about spontaneity, fun, being lighthearted, joyful, optimistic. Tangerine's bright. It's hugely bright. It's beautiful. So I put a lot of tangerine in. The most of any oil was tangerine. And then I layered bergamot, because bergamot helps us to accept the self as it is today, as this little seed. We have to have self-acceptance for wherever we're at in our journey, wherever we're at in the process of waking up. This one builds confidence, it brings hope, and it reminds us to just be lovable to ourselves, to settle into where we are, whatever our age is, whatever our season is, whatever life stage we're going through, but to accept it. I then added a blend called the Joyful Blend. It has a lot of citrus in it. It has some lavender, some lavandin. It's beautiful, it's soft, and this one reminds us to be bright and to be carefree and to feel elevated, to feel cheerful and abundant and joyful, and to just be with the possibility of our life, to be with the possibility of what this season might bring to us. I then added a tree. I wanted to bring us back down into being grounded, into being comforted, into being honest, into living in the present, which is what trees offer us. When we walk in the forest or the woods, we're immediately connected. And what I realized today, this morning, I went for a walk in the nature that I live near. And I was thinking, I never look at a tree and think that that tree is not enough, or that there's something wrong with the tree, that there's an honesty when we're amongst the trees, a living in the present, and a full acceptance, a peacefulness that comes when we're in the tree. We're not comparing the aspen to the pinyon pine or the ponderosa to the spruce. We're just with it. And so I wanted to add an element of trees to the blend to remember to be grounded in this season of growth. It can be easy to get too much in our head and too much in the future. And so Siberian fir is there to say, hold on a second, let's just be comfortable with what is. I then added green mandarin, which is just the unripened mandarin orange. So it's picked before it turns orange, so it has a bitterness to it, but it brings this earthiness to the element of the citrus oils that says, I'm fearless. I'm also filled with wonder and excitement for what's to come, what's to ripen in my own life. I love green mandarin because it's not as sweet as a full ripened citrus oil, and it gives us a sense of what's to come. I then added something called the Invigorating Blend, which is a blend of every citrus oil you can imagine and a touch of vanilla absolute. It has tangerine, grapefruit, lime, lemon, clementine, mandarin, orange. It's like a creamsicle in a bottle, and it says, be creative, be motivated, be confident, be spontaneous, and be invigorated for what's to come. I finished this blend off with citrine quartz, and citrine invites in abundance and joy, cheerfulness and optimism. It's warmth of the yellow, whether it's a very pale yellow to a darker amber color, it says plenty. And it invites in the idea of plenty. And then I topped this entire blend off with helichrysum flower, a dried flower. Helichrysum says, be determined, be hopeful, be courageous. And so how you will use this oil in the coming days through this season of spring is apply it to your wrists, behind your ears, under your nose, along your mustache, with the idea that all of these beautiful plants working together synergistically with the crystals, with the dried actual flower of helichrysum, which is a beautiful, delicate, tiny little flower, is saying, there's something in me that's growing. There's something that I want. And maybe it's, I want to be more patient. I want to be more present with my people. I want to create something. Maybe you have a deep need to get out there and do something after a year of nothing, maybe, that you want to create something. You want to shine. You want to be courageous. You want to be hopeful. Each of our seeds that we will plant will be unique to ourselves. And so as we go through the meditation in a few moments, just be willing to not be too much in your head and to just let the sounds come, the messages come, because our own inner wisdom really truly knows what we need and what our heart is longing for. And so you have your scroll, you have a pencil nearby, you have your lepidolite, maybe you're holding it in the hand, maybe you've slipped it into your shirt. If you're a girl, it's not uncommon to wear crystals inside your undergarment. It's totally fine. That's what we do. If you're a dude, you put it in your pocket, or you hold it in your hand, or you have it just in your eyesight, and that is a symbol. I often have crystals around my house just as a visual reminder of what they represent. And I pay attention to that representation of why are they there? Why is this little dish of stone sitting next to my morning time chair where I drink my coffee and read and meditate? And then you have your packet of seeds, which you will do on your own time when it's right for you, wherever you live in the country, to put them into the earth with your scroll or your piece of paper. So I want you to get comfortable. And that can be sitting in an easy sofa. It could be laying down. It could be sitting in a chair. Just let your fingers rest, maybe in a slightly curled state, holding on to the lepidolite. You have the beautiful aroma of the oils, whatever oils you have, waiting, anticipating your package from me. Just start to feel the life within you, which is your breath, the prana, which is moving through you. And this spring equinox, it occurs in the Northern Hemisphere between March 20th and 22nd every single year. It marks the end of winter. And the equinox is indicated by the equal length of day and night all over the world. Trees and plants stretch their arms. They begin this new cycle of growth. Butterflies show up. Birds remember their song. People leave the scarves and the winter coats at home for something lighter, something brighter. Springtime is about creation. It's about the sprouting of seeds. It's about the blossoming of your dreams. And the cool thing is that the universe hears and witnesses your intentions. So we have our seeds in this beautiful circle. You might choose to rest the packet of seeds in the palm of your hands, or just have them sitting near you. Let them become infused by your dreams. All that you want to call in. all that you are speaking into your existence for this season. And then in the following days, I encourage you to plant the seeds, either in the ground or in a pot. Put the scroll with the seeds. Bury your intention. And we'll get to what that looks like in a moment. But you'll actually put this piece of paper in with the seeds and then nourish them. You will water them. You will watch them. You will put love into them. You will remember that every time you look at this pot, you look at this bed in your backyard, that these dream seeds of yours are infused with your love. And then let it bring a smile to your face. So I want you to picture in your mind a pot or a garden bed. And it can be whatever size and shape that you just immediately are drawn to. Perhaps it's a huge terracotta pot. It might be a raised bed. It might be just a place along the side of your house that's got soil. I want you to start to explore the idea that there are things in the bed that are left over from winter. There might be some twigs. There's probably some leaves from last year's growth. Maybe even some old flowers that have shriveled from the season ending. Maybe they became leggy if you live in a climate that never freezes. They're no longer pretty. They've sort of done what they've needed to do. And if you live in a climate that has a hard freeze, they're shriveled and dry. No longer blooming, no longer growing. Last year's stuff. There might even be some trash, maybe a wrapper. Maybe something has blown in that just doesn't belong there. And as we spend time, just a few moments with this pot or this garden bed, start to allow a sense of slowness as the breath becomes quiet, rhythmic. Just like the cycles of the season, our breath is such a beautiful reminder that the inhale is the beginning of a cycle, which is spring. There's an expansion at the top of our breath, and the exhale is really a letting go. And in this case, it's a clearing out. It's getting our hands into that pot or into that flower bed and scooping out last year's stuff. Last year's growth, last year's intentions, last year's bounty, maybe last year's sorrows, disappointments, pain, letdown. And as we continue to breathe, consider how the symbolism of last year's stuff needs to be removed in order for the seeds that you're going to plant in this fertile soil to take shape, to be able to have the room to grow, to develop the roots, to sprout the new growth. We have to get rid of the things that are in the way. So take a few moments. I'm going to begin to ring a beautiful singing bowl. It represents creativity and growth. It is tuned to D, which which represents our sacral chakra, where thoughts are grown, thoughts are created. It's the womb of all of us, whether you're male or a female. We have this inner womb. And so spend time with your garden, eliminating the stuff from last year. Allowing the sound to clear out. And to bring in this idea of creation. Start to picture in your mind now this beautiful soil. Maybe there's just a twig or two, maybe a crunched up leaf. Any given time, you can reach in and just pluck it out, knowing that it has served its purpose. Last year's growth was amazing and beautiful. There was vibrancy in what was. You might imagine smoothing your hand across this soil, maybe scooping up a handful and letting it run through your fingers. Not worried about the fingers getting dirty, but instead feeling the energy of fertile soil, the warmth, the texture. When we take this idea into our day-to-day life, what is fertile within you? What is warm? What is ready? And now that we no longer have the stuff from the past, maybe it was that old hurt, that resentment, I should have, if only I would have. And instead we have this beautiful empty space. I want you to find that scroll or your sticky note with your pencil. And I want you to consider all of the dreams that you'd like to have happen in your life. And consider the season of spring as this representation of new ideas, of tiny little shoots of growth. Not getting into the full outcome, but just being willing to stretch. They say that in order for a seed to open, it has to break apart. And so it takes work. We can't expect the harvest without the work. So as you consider all of your dreams, there's going to be one or two that are nudging you, that are poking you, that you might even say, don't even think that, it's too big. Who do you think you are? That's the one you need to listen to. Just spend a moment or two dreaming. Perhaps it's material, which is fine. Maybe you want a new home. Maybe you want a new car. Maybe you want a perfect partner, a dream job. Maybe you want to be more resilient, to be stronger, to be more capable. Maybe you want to be peaceful, not worry about things so much. Maybe you want to offer hope to others. You want to be a servant. There is nothing that is wrong with whatever you're dreaming. Let the answers flood. Just bring it all in. And see each intention as a beautiful flower. Different shapes, different colors, different sizes. Just spend a moment or two picturing your dreams as a garden, each dream, beautiful flower. Our intentions are life-giving, they're creative. They birth something inside of each of us that is seeking to be broken open. Now that your bed or your pot is full of this expression of all of your dreams, I want you to begin your intention with the words, I am. And start to hone in on one or two of those flowers that represent your dreams. I am safe in a new home. I am loved by another human being. I am creating a life that I'm worthy of. I'm experiencing travel and joy and peace. I am loved. I am happy. I am growing. I am content. I am abundant. I am in bliss. Just allow the intentions to become that I am statement. Let them be a lot. Dream big. The seeds in your packet represent each of your dreams. Don't be afraid to dream big. You're worth it. I am magnificent. I am healthy and pain-free. I am settled into a new space that fits me perfect. I am driving the car of my dreams. I'm spending time with the love of my life. I am feeling connected to friends. I am belonging with my family. I am making a difference in the world. I am alive. Just let the seeds be flooded. Don't be limited. Now there seems to be one or two flowers in your garden that is standing a little taller. It's a little brighter than the rest. Pay attention to this one or two flowers. She has something to say to you. This is your intention. What does she represent? Can you identify in one or two words what she has to say for you this season? And when you hear it, put it on that piece of paper, write it on your scroll, on your sticky note, and hold it in your hands. That is your inner wisdom, reminding you, nurturing you, urging you that is what you're going to grow. Picture in your mind that beautiful blossom. What does that look like in your life? What does she represent? Sit with it. Feel it. Put a smile and a fullness in your heart. What does it feel like to experience that beautiful bloom? And in the coming days, to put this intention in words that you've written on your paper into the soil, to plant alongside the seeds. By placing our intention in the soil, it is a representation of planting our intention, knowing that it will grow and that it will blossom. The definition of optimism, according to Webster's, is a hopefulness and a confidence about the future or the successful outcome of something. To infuse optimism into our season, to take those seeds with the piece of paper that says, I am, is life-giving, it is creating, it is giving birth to something inside of you that resonates so deeply right now. And in the coming weeks, we nurture the seeds, we give them water, we give them sunshine, we protect them from the enemies of rain and hail and snow and sleet. And we nurture them through our thoughts and our words and our actions. And now as we sit with what we have created, imagine that the sun is on your face and feel the warmth. Put a smile across your lips. Feel that. You have created something amazing. As we start to come back to paying attention to our breath, pay particular attention to your inhale. because it is the beginning of a new cycle, the moment where light begins to outweigh the darkness, where we emerge into the season of creation and growth. And as you complete your inhale, you might even express gratitude for all that you have. And with your exhale, we clear out anything more that might be in the way. And the inhale again, the beginning of a new cycle. That moment where light begins to outweigh darkness. The moment of creation and growth. And at the top of our inhale, we smile with gratitude for all that we have. And we exhale. We breathe out one or two more leaves from the past that are just in the way. We do that again. And then we ask ourselves, if we were to grow a garden to represent your own awakening, what would it look like? What kind of flowers represent your potential? Hopefulness, confidence in the future and the successful outcome of something. That is optimism. This beautiful mental attitude that's characterized by hope, confidence, success, and a positive future. We can't plant a seed with hopes that it never blooms. We expect good things to come. In the coming days and weeks, as you nurture your seeds, you begin to see those tiny shoots of growth. Be reminded that you are a co-creator, that your intentions are powerful. And as we hold this Lepidolite stone, we're reminded of the fertility within each of us to create. And of course, there's going to be storms that come, and there might be hail, and there might be rain, or even snow. But with enough love and enough attention of hope and optimism, our seeds can endure it. And they can grow day by day to these beautiful blooms. That is what spring equinox represents. A light to the darkness. Hope and optimism. I can't wait to hear about your garden in the coming months. I can't wait to see pictures of the seeds that you've sown. Take a moment just to feel the potential. We are embarking into a time that's powerful and transformative. If we put our minds into the place of positive and hope, anything is possible. And if nothing came to you this evening, that's okay. It just means that there's more work to do on clearing out the stuff of the past. And to create space in your garden bed or your pot so that there can be growth, to let go and to pull out. You will know when you're on it and what those seeds represent. You'll know. So be gentle with yourself. Tend to your garden with compassion, with love, with hope, and with optimism. Remember the beautiful inhale as it represents the beginning of a new cycle, the moment where light begins to outweigh the darkness, a moment of creation and growth. We take in prana, that which is life, and we infuse it into our seeds, into our intentions, into our soil. And every single bit of our garden bed has purpose. The soil, the rocks, the little pebbles, maybe even some leftover stuff. Take a moment or two just to return to your space. It's a powerful exercise. So be gentle tonight. Try not to put too much stimulation into the mind to clutter up your garden again. Instead, just maybe sit, read, journal. Put your seeds in a windowsill that you can look at, maybe near your coffee pot or your bedside table. And if you didn't get clarity in tonight's practice, just set the intention that you will and let the seeds represent what's to come. Carry your lepidolite with you. It's fertile. It represents creation. Apply your oils under your nose, along your wrists. The beautiful aroma of citrus with that little bit of groundedness of the trees. Thank you so much for joining in this beautiful ceremony of springtime, inviting in. I look forward to hearing what you grow this year and being part of it. Maybe putting a little sunshine in your garden. It's an honor. Thank you so much. If you have questions, please reach out to me. If you did not get your package, reach out to me. It should be on the way if you registered. If you're late to registering and you still want the package, just reach out to me. I have plenty to share, and I can get that to you in the mail. Have a beautiful rest of your evening. Welcome to spring, a newness, a time to grow, to create, and I'm grateful for you. Thank you so much. I'll be sending you all a recording for you to review later if you'd like in the coming hour. Take care, be well, happy spring, happy growing, happy intentions, and namaste. Have a beautiful night. Take care.